it's a wonderful thing. Annually, we do the Little Soul in the Sun. And with circumstances the way they have transpired this year, it was obvious that we needed to go in another direction. So we are presenting the fourth Magi this morning. It is produced and directed by Jorge Acosta, and all of the players are from Harmony, and even Ryan, and so I know that you are going to enjoy this tremendously. Metaphysical means beyond the scene, so you know that you're going to get some truth in all of the services, and I'm kind of changing the format just a little bit this morning because something has actually come across my desk, and I felt that it was extremely appropriate to share that with you this morning. Some of you have already perhaps received this from me in an email, but this is from Dr. Carolyn Mace, the author of so many books. Come on, tell me. I'm drawing a big blank here.
Sacred Contracts.
Sacred Contracts, all of the books. Anyway, she is a mentor of mine, and I don't follow a whole lot of people, but I have always felt a connection to Carolyn Mace and her work. And so this is the newsletter that really helped me to help have a better understanding of what exactly it is that we do here at Harmony. I know what we do, but for Carolyn to describe it in this manner really opened another world to me. And so in lieu of the way I usually start the service, I want to share this with you. She said, "This is not to be the usual type of Thanksgiving newsletter in which I remind everyone to be thankful for their blessings, although I might get to that. Rather, I am in more of a cosmic mood this morning, so I thought I would share some thoughts that are running through my mind as I attempt in my own way to make sense of a world undergoing epoch-sized changes in light speed. I also, of course, hope that this Thanksgiving newsletter will be something you'll be thankful to have read by the time you're done with it. No one is untouched by these changes, and from the perspective, we are being drawn together in uncharted waters. None of us can possibly anticipate what each new day will bring us. Will the stock market go up tomorrow, crash again? Will billions of dollars move from this faltering bank to that one? Will another entire country like Iceland actually go bankrupt? When have we ever witnessed such unbridled madness right in front of our eyes? So how do we interpret this? Where do we begin? What calculations do we use that can even begin to rely upon? This situation has all of the experts scrambling, and if I'm not mistaken, it was also experts who got us into this mess, or was it? Perhaps the greater truth, the cosmic truth, as it were, is that this period of chaos was always scheduled to happen. Seems to me, deep in our intuitive gut, we've always been anticipating an epochal period of change. We just had no idea how that period of change would actually manifest, and perhaps in our naivete, we thought that the dynamic of change would somehow occur out there somewhere, affecting the lives of others more than us, or be a controllable force that didn't penetrate our 401ks or our subprime mortgages or our personal incomes. I'm reminded of how many times people say in this moment after a disaster, who would ever think that such a thing could happen here? We all live in the illusion that bad things happen out there and that our particular school of myths has the power to protect us. If I'm a good person, bad things won't happen to me, but things do happen. The reason you study spiritual and mystical literature is so that you can learn to reason like a mystic and apply that skill precisely in times like this. So when difficult crises arise, your response is not, "What have I done wrong?" but, so change is constant. You haven't done anything wrong. Instead, we are witnessing the truths in motion that we have studied for years. To wit, Buddha's teaching, all is illusion. What greater proof can we have that all of this is an illusion than to see fortresses of finance disappear in front of our eyes? That just last week or last month we could have bet the ranch We were as safe as, well, Fort Knox. Who was right, Fort Knox or Buddha? In the end, it is the greatest spiritual teachings that always, always, always remain steady and prove to be truth. So let's reason like a mystic as we examine the chaos in the world around us. Instead of looking through the lens of ordinary reason and thought, let us look through the lens of mystical law. Those laws which govern the collective field of energy and the collective soul of humanity. This is where you need to cast your attention to see clearly, not to the piles of mess on the earth. Once a system has collapsed or is screaming for help, its energies are already exhausted. The first step to learning to reason like a mystic is to understand what has to happen because of the level of psychic free radicals in the collective consciousness. What psychic systems are out of balance that need to come into balance? Nothing that a person can do in the physical world can possibly redirect what has to happen in the energetic domain if that process has already begun. That is, once a woman has begun to give birth, it's too late to introduce birth control to prevent her from getting pregnant. The time you have to influence on the formation of events is prior to the pregnancy, prior to the time when certain types of changes or events become inevitable because of the energy that humanity has generated. What then has to happen within our world? We are living at a great turning point in history. We are witnessing the shift of all the power structures of the great nations and systems of this planet as they tumble out of control while struggling to remain in control. The great threads holding the illusion of control together are currency and oil. It's quite astounding to observe this dynamic that is silently maneuvered behind the scenes for years suddenly become exposed before our eyes because of the failings of greed and effect. What are we witnessing is the ceiling on greed. Apparently, there is an end point, at least to how the current system has structured the market.